So today we're gonna talk about tobacco, doing the right thing, and a company that actually did the right thing. But as always, there is gonna be after the intro. So there's gonna be more after the intro. And I am I am really happy to record this episode, since it is actually something really nice to talk about, because there is something really nice happening, or there happened something really nice, and therefore it's also cool to talk about that, to just see and also point out those really good things about major corporations, which is just often not the case. Often it is about like taxes, and they are not just paying the taxes correctly, quote unquote, and all those things. But today we're gonna talk about something nice that's having something to do with a major corporation. But as always, all the links should be down in the description, so everything that you might be interested in should be in the description, also in the show notes if you're on the podcast. But if there's something that you are in need of and it is not in the description and or it is not in the show notes as well, then please hit me up on social media. Then I'm just totally gonna tell you where you can find all these things that you're looking for. But yeah, without losing any time or any further time, let's actually move into it. Because today we are gonna talk about CVS and them not selling any tobacco-related items, products, maybe even services, but I'm not quite sure about that, any longer. And they decided to do that, I think, back in 2014 to 15, and it is something amazing. So it's a publicly traded company as far as I know, and it is, at least as Google says, a retail company. But it is a retail company for pharmaceutic and or pharmacy products. So it's gonna be, I guess, because I don't know, like it is something completely different, I guess, in the States than it is in Austria, and or I think in general in Europe. But it is about just selling drugs and tablets and all those things that you actually need when you're ill, and or you kind of feel like you're getting ill or you're becoming ill, and all those things. But they did something really, really incredible. Because, as I said before, they decided to not sell any tobacco-related items any longer, from 2014 to 15 to just now. And they're still gonna do that, because they thought that since they actually are a pharmaceutical company and they are just really about health and they want people to be healthy, they decided that it's probably not gonna be a good thing to sell drugs in terms of tobacco, in terms of cigarettes, in terms of also, I think, e-cigarettes, like electronical cigarettes and all those things. So not only kind of the quote-unquote normal tobacco items and products and or those really traditional ones maybe, but they decided to do that and to just maybe give you a number and to just also keep you thinking. They have done $2 billion in sales, or actually in revenue, from tobacco-related products before. And they basically are losing out of $2 billion, which is quite a lot, which is really, really, really a lot. And they weren't able to just get that in again. They weren't able to just earn that revenue again, just especially after they've decided to not sell any tobacco-related products any longer. But you also have to think about it in another way. Like, the CVS is probably, like, I think it's the first one. Maybe some other companies also decide to do that, but like, it is a big market and it is also a pretty huge revenue that all the companies, whether it be those pharmaceutical companies or whether it be just some regular supermarkets, I guess, unless they are not allowed to just sell tobacco things, which is something that I don't know, because in my country, so in Austria, it is like, you can buy alcohol just basically everywhere. Unless it's like, well, yeah, okay, a beer. You can buy a beer quite everywhere, whether it be a bakery and or whether it be just a regular supermarket. But when it is about cigarettes, you can buy them at just normal shops, like dedicated to buying tobacco-related items, whether it be actually filters for your just self-made cigarettes and whatnot, and the tobacco itself, and or just the pre-rolled cigarettes from the industry. You can get them there, but you can also get them at, I don't know what the word is. You can get them at the tanker stove, whatever they say, tanker. So you probably know what I'm referring to. I at least hope. I really do hope. So the place where you're fueling your car basically with fuel, with whatever you're fueling your car with, hopefully with the dedicated fuel, but whatnot. The thing is, you can buy them there. You're not basically able to just buy any tobacco-related items in pharmacies. Never ever. I haven't seen that up to this point. Only in those two places, actually. But maybe, like, I do kind of feel like that there is another place where you can also buy just cigarettes and whatnot. But I'm not quite sure. Like, of course, the the vending machines. Like they're basically everywhere, especially when you are living in a relatively big city, then you're just gonna encounter them like everywhere. They're gonna be basically on every corner, which is something that's probably not too bad. But I think there are also some rules, like you can't just have a vending machine when there is just no like street besides, like in no kind of really spooky corners. Like you shouldn't be having, or I think you're also not really allowed to do that. The thing is, coming back to CVS and actually maybe showing some numbers what they actually did. So since we stopped selling tobacco, there has been an additional 1% reduction in cigarette pack sales across all retailers in states where CVS pharmacy had a 15% or greater share of the retail pharmacy market, compared to states with no CVS pharmacy stores. Over the same 8-month period, the average smoker in those states purchased 5 fewer cigarette packs, and in total, approximately 95 million fewer packs were sold. The study also showed a 4% increase in nicotine patch purchases in those same states during the period immediately following the end of the tobacco sales, indicating that there was also a positive effect on attempts to quit smoking. Of course, they're only talking about attempts. There's nothing like, okay, actually people stopped to smoke, even though I really think that chances aren't too low, to be honest. And there's also like an infographic, like 5 fewer packs is actually something, and also in total 95 million fewer packs is also quite something. It really is. And I think it also just shows how much money there is in tobacco, and it basically also shows why so many retailers sell tobacco. But as I said, I don't really know if just Target and Walmart and whatnot, if they're allowed to just sell tobacco. So the only thing that I'm able to see is like books about how to stop smoking and how to quit smoking and how to finally quit smoking. But that's quite it. Like I'm not seeing anything that's like actual cigarettes and whatnot. So I kind of assume that you're actually not able to buy cigarettes in Walmart and or Target and or whatnot unless, which is also something that's pretty like unfamiliar for basically I think everyone in Europe, when you're actually having a pharmaceutic institute or retailer inside of a Target or inside of a Walmart or inside of a just shopping center, well, basically actually like another supermarket. It is not a thing that's too common. I do just kind of think if there's actually one pharmacy that I know that is in actually another supermarket. I've only once seen something that's been really crazy. It's been in Germany when I was like on holidays with my girlfriend, which has been a really great time, a really, really great time. And there has been like, we have always been searching up some supermarkets because there was one supermarket in the whole like island, and it's been like quite some time until we get there. Like there's quite some walking involved, and it just takes some time till we get there every time. And it is not a waste of time because it's always like a nice walk, and it is always just really cool to walk there. Like just always seeing the positive things, even though it might not just be so positive. But the thing is, we've always just seen that there's another supermarket like really, really close to us, like so just immensely close to us that it is just like 3 meters or something, like a yard, not even, I guess. And the thing is, we've been at this building and we've just been standing outside of the building, but there was only like a fucking just retail shop in terms of clothing. I think also just shoes and socks and just underwear, all those things that you could basically buy in an H&M as well. And we always thought like, well, there is no fucking supermarket. Why is just Google Maps always saying like there is a supermarket? The thing was, in the end, the supermarket was inside of the fucking thing, inside of the fucking retail shop. And we always thought like, nah. And the only time when we actually figured it out was the last day of our holiday. And it's been like it's been fine. Like the other supermarket was just way bigger and also nicer, to be honest. So in the end, it's been like yeah, maybe it actually saved us some money because it always involved some walking there. And therefore we actually might not been there too often just in the supermarket, even though I think we've been there like every single day. Like it's been insane, really insane. Still great holiday and still great experience and still just really, really, really great time. But coming back to CVS, like what you can see there is that they decided to do the right thing, or seemingly do the right thing, because it actually seems like that they did the right thing. The only problem that I'm having with that is that to actually kind of think that they only did it to ensure that people are getting healthier. Because in the end, they acquired another firm, which is an health insurance firm, which is, I think, Athena or something. I'm not quite sure. I really am not. But think about it. If you're trying to make people healthier, then you're probably also, on the other hand, going to make more money by having a health insurance company. Because if the people are healthier, then they're not going to have too many problems. They're going to pay the thing. They're going to pay the insurance, and you do not have to pay anything for them in the whole end. It is actually a great business. Having an insurance group, having just health insurance or whatever it might be, it is a great business. Just, I at least assume, I'm not having an insurance company or whatnot. So it's basically, in the end, it's like, in the end, or in the really real end, it's been a really great decision, because what we have shown, and it's been a publicly traded company just back in the days, back in 2015 as well. And all the stakeholders and all the shareholders and everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're losing out on a lot of money. And of course, this is not something that the Wall Street likes. This is not something that all the stakeholders like to have. Of course not, because they're losing quite a lot of money as well. And in the end, it was after the day they announced that. So I think after the day they actually also started to do that, they have lost $1. Which is, I think, something. It's really not low, since it's going to be $1 of every share, which is quite something in the end, because it's everything added together. It makes something. There is something in your hands if you're having that amount of money. The thing is, 2 years after that, I guess, or now, I'm not quite sure, they actually doubled the price of one share. So it's been first of all, it's been $66, then it's been $65, and now it is at $111, which is they fucking did great. And there's also been a lot of happiness around people in the world and about people in the United States about this certain thing, because they thought it is a great thing to do. It is great that they did that. It is great that they just, weren't thinking like all the other companies that are just trying to get as much money and trying to just make as much profit as possible, because they seemingly tried to do the right thing. In the end, I'm not quite sure. Of course, it is something really great, especially if you are a pharmacy or a pharmaceutical retail store and whatnot. It is actually a great statement to say we are not selling any tobacco items because we believe in people's health. It's, on the other hand, is definitely also going to be about branding for the long term, which is definitely something to point out, that it is not a short-term answer. It is not a short-term decision. It is just such a huge long-term decision, because they knew that it's probably gonna be good in the long term. Maybe they're losing a few dollars in the short term, but in the long term, they're gonna make even more profit by doing that, by just building the brand, by just also having the exposure in media and whatnot. But I think they knew that it's not gonna be too bad. Even though on the other side, I also think it could have been really bad for them. It could have. It really could have. And this is also something to really think about. Should you really just drop ship some shitty items from China, which are actually really shitty, but you're making some profit off of them? Is it really something that you're willing to do? Is this really something that you're willing to give the people that are actually buying the stuff that you're selling? Because it wouldn't actually be something that I like to do. And it is also one of the reasons why I'm actually sticking with the podcast. I'm sticking with whatever I'm doing, and I'm at this point in time just trying to get as much done in terms of the podcast. And I've been thinking about other quote-unquote businesses, because I don't just like to think about those things. And I think, first of all, it is often really related to just searching shortcuts, to just making money and all those things. Just in the end, it's also going to take some time until I am able to just make some money off of whatever I'm doing. Of course, because it always takes time. Building something is always going to take time. If it is about just getting fat, actually, it also takes some time. The only thing is that it's not going to be too difficult. It's not going to be just a really hard time until the time passes, basically. The thing is, I'm not willing to do so. I'm willing to do something that helps other people, and I'm willing to do something that I'm also proud of. If you're going to be proud of something that you're just drop shipping, which is actually a shitty product or not, it's definitely something that comes up to you and how you are thinking about the world, and just also money in the end as well. But think about that. Here is actually a really great case of doing the right thing and maybe doing the easy thing, and maybe even doing the right thing versus doing the short-term thing. Because in the end, it is often the case that the short-term thing is really not often the really good thing. It really is the long-term thing that often is the one you should be taking, the one you should be just acting on, the one you should be using, the one you should be thinking about, because it's often going to be better. It's often going to be better to make nothing now and twice as much in the long term. And or maybe even just, it doesn't necessarily have to be twice as much. It could also be just 50% much, which is just still enough. Think about that. Really, really think about that. But let's actually go through some Reddit questions, or basically like probably 1 or 2 or maybe even 3, like it depends on how fast we can be. The first one is, and I actually like to sort them for new, and there's actually like something that's gonna sting me in the night. I don't know what it is called. It's like a fly, but it's not really a fly. It is something else. But it's really nice to just sort the questions or whatever you're viewing, just sort them by new, because if you sort them by best and hot or something else, I kind of feel like that there's often gonna be something that is like, maybe it is something like that's trending, basically. Like you're just seeing the same things often. But I'm gonna read. Can I even get better? Hello everyone. I've decided to get better years ago, but nothing changed. In fact, I'm at the point where I would rather stay depressed than to do something about it. I'm currently 23 years old. I dropped out of college 5 or 6 years ago and I lost count. Since then, I stayed at my retired parents' house and didn't talk to anybody other than my retired parents. All I do is play video games all day long. I never worked a day in my life. I never made money. I never bought anything. I never wear the same clothes every day. Oh, I wear the same clothes every day. I get my hair cut 2 times a year. The past 2 years, I worked out at the gym 5 times to 7 times a week, but it did not help with my depression at all. I just hated it and didn't make any progress anyways. So I kind of stopped. I haven't gone and so on. I kind of do feel like I'm looking for an objective answer. No, of course you can be better. Bullshit. Of course you can get better. Bullshit. Can I have a normal life even if I've been doing absolutely nothing for the past 6 years and don't even know what reality is anymore? Thanks. And unfortunately there is no answer yet. I'm still gonna upvote it just because I hope that in the meantime there's gonna be somebody that's gonna answer that, which is actually something that I really like to do, because we're able to help so much people. And just even though a lot of times we're gonna think like, well, I'm not able to just help anybody. But in fact, you're able to just help such a lot of people by the things that you know that somebody else does not know. Especially if you're just a really interested person in whatever it might be, whether it be psychology, whether it be physics, whether it be self-development, whether it be just anything basically, there's going to be somebody that doesn't know as much as you know. The thing is, of course you can get better. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get better just because you haven't been doing anything for the past 6 years. It really does not. There's going to be a lot of failures in life, and whether it be just because you're just trying to progress or you're just doing nothing, there is going to be failure. It is good, it is bad. Think about it as good, because you're always going to learn something. But of course you can get better. It is like, I think, one of the cognitive distortions, like if something happens once or if something is bad at this time, then it's also and for always going to be bad, which is not the case. It's not for always going to be bad. You do just have to act on it. Of course, you do just have to just find the motivation and find the intrinsic motivation. If somebody else is telling you that you should just move your ass and whatnot, it's probably not going to change a lot. It really does not. Because you have to be thinking about it and you have to be motivated to do that. Not just the other person trying to get you motivated. Of course, somebody else can make you motivated intrinsically. This is something that works. If it is something that's really easy, I wouldn't really say so. I think it's actually something that's relatively difficult to do. Still, only because something has been bad for 6 years doesn't mean that it is always going to be bad. You have to do something about it. You have to just change one of these things. But just, I don't know, you can also just start to be a fucking esports player. It is something that's really viable at this point in time. Like it's actually also going to grow. If you're really good at games, since you're just playing all day long, maybe think about that. And this is creating a goal in your life, and it's also creating a purpose in your life. I really guess that having goals in life, and especially also having a purpose in life, is one of the most important things that you can have. And if you're not having that, then actually thinking about it and maybe dreaming about it as well is probably going to be one of the better things you can be doing. But to repeat myself once again, only because something has been bad up to this point doesn't really mean that it is also going to be bad in the future, unless you're not doing anything about it. But often it is the case that you do not actually have to just take so much action or so many actions, since just days are gonna pass. Life is gonna pass in terms of hours and days and months and years, and you're gonna find yourself. And as I'm seeing this person there, this person is definitely really unhappy about whatever life is at this point in time. And I think it is actually a pretty great way or a pretty great situation to also use the quote-unquote motivation to just do something about it, because why not? And doing about it might be like just starting to do something and getting a new habit and not trying to break those bad habits that you're having. Maybe trying to just find a job, whether it actually be McDonald's or nothing. It's like having a purpose in life, just getting up, and it could also be video games, but of course, just earning your own money is probably going to do good, at least as I think about it. But I think the first step to do is actually changing something not necessarily really big, but something smaller, something that is still, and I really believe that it is just going to be something. It doesn't have to be that, it doesn't have to be this, just something. And this is going to just let the ball roll. The next question, after repeating myself 100 times. What is the worst architecture or furniture placement you've ever seen? Something really subjective. We have boomers, we have millennials. What do you call Generation Z? Z or C, whatever. But this is not what I'm searching for. I'm searching for self-development related things. There's only Ask Reddit. Only Ask Reddit. It's insane. I've been lucky that I'm actually having just one of the good questions, quote unquote, in just the very first part here. Maybe something controversial. It's probably going to be something shit. I haven't sorted by controversial up to this point. Maybe not. Hot, top, rising, whatever. Now, we're going to actually end the episode with something motivating. Something motivating from Aristotle, which is actually, or who has actually also been part of the episode from yesterday. So please check out yesterday's episode. It's been, it's today's episode. Or it's it's yesterday's episode just because I'm recording this while I'm actually having the other one ready to upload and whatever. Practice being the best every day and conquer the world. The funny thing is that I've actually got a notification on my phone that I'm just currently using to just record this here for this exact thread, which is really interesting. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then... Wait, I'm gonna read it in a good way. And this is from Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. So excellence then is not an act, but it is a habit. It does make sense. And of course, you're also going to change the more you're doing. The more you're doing, you're going to change the more. But this is going to be the end of the episode because we've been talking about things for quite some time. It's been a really good episode. And I really think that knowing what to talk about is actually doing a lot of things way better. I think also just in terms of the experience of the whole podcast, but also for me. I'm not feeling bad I really am feeling bad when I'm just putting out something that I kind of feel like that it's not really valuable, at least not as much as I would like to just have it. And of course, it is judging my own thing, and it's just something that's not really important. But yeah, I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, which basically means that you just can be a nice person and then also going to be remembered as a nice person. On the other hand, I'm also having 3 other questions, which are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? And these 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, since a lot of companies started out with solving something that really pissed them off in the first place. But yeah, I'm going to see you the next time. I at least hope. So please stay subscribed to the podcast and also to the YouTube channel. I see you.